Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to this Teaching with Tech episode of the Talking with Tech podcast. My name is Chris Bugaj, and I'm here with my co-host, Rachel Madel. How's it going, Rachel?
It's going good. I'm really excited for this episode, Chris.
Yeah, me too. Me too. This is the first time we are doing a Teaching with Tech episode. So welcome, everybody, to the inaugural podcast version of this episode.
Yeah. So this week's episode is sponsored by Speech Blubs, which is an app that we're going to be deep diving in today. It's an amazing speech language tool that you can use in your practice. And Chris and I are going to show you hands-on how you can use this tool in your practice. And we're really excited because the company has agreed to give us a few lifetime subscriptions and also a deal for all of our listeners. So definitely stay tuned until the end where we'll give you all that information on how to get this app for free.
Yeah, excellent. We'll say that at the very end of the podcast. And so let's just dive in, shall we, Rachel? Let's talk about Speech Blubs.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to, because we're going to be sharing this video as well. So definitely check out our YouTube channel. We'll post it in our Facebook group, which is Talking with Tech. You just search Talking with Tech and join our Facebook group if you haven't already. But there's a visual version of this, right? So I'm going to share my screen and figure out how to make it so that you guys can see it. All right, let's see. Can you see it, Chris?
Yeah, I can see it. So this particular app is available on iOS and Android. We're using the iOS version right here, and Rachel is projecting from her or screen sharing from her iPad, right? Is that right, Rachel?
Yep, I have a lot of cords right now, plugged into a lot of adapters, doing lots of different things, but yes.
Okay, so what are we looking at here? When you first sign into Speech Blubs and you pull up the implementation piece, there are a series of different, I guess you'd call them games or portions of the app for the students to engage in. So you can see on the screen right now the guess the sound, guess the words, sing along. You want to keep going, Rachel? What else do we've got here?
There's so much content here, Chris. It's crazy. I haven't even actually explored in depth all of these because there's just so many. Dino Roars is a really great one for kids who love dinosaurs. I mean, look, the list just keeps going on and on.
Yeah, and when you go into any of them, I don't know, should we look at that first one, the early sounds one, just to kind of give people an example of what it is, or I don't know, maybe. Yeah, perfect. So this is the early sounds one, right?
Yes.
And I can tell you've done the monkey version because you have earned the monkey sticker.
You're right. Should I become a monkey, Chris? So you can see that the first, you can hear it too. So this is a really fun one for kids. And you can see we're using peer modeling. And we can become monkeys, Chris. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah, ah.
So what happens is it comes up with a video of a student. And so there's this particular boy, but as you play with the app, you'll find there's a bunch of different actors that do some sort of action. In this case, it's an early sound like this animal sounds. And the child actor makes the sound. And then, Rachel, I saw that bar going across the bottom. It's indicating that it's going to ask you as the student watching the video to say it back. And when you do, you get this cool, fun reinforcer where you turn yourself into whatever it is.
Can you see what I am right now? Do you see that I'm a huge monkey? And this is perfect for core words, right? You can say eat the banana. It takes a picture. You can say take it. So I'll take a picture of myself. So of course it uses augmented reality, which is one of Chris's and I favorite tools when we're working with kids. And then you can again practice those early sounds. And there's the message window at the bar at the bottom that Chris was talking about.
So let's take a look at another one, Rachel. So there's monkey sounds, but what's another one?
Let's see. So the other one that I really like is, yes, I am enjoying this app. How did you know? Okay, so let's go to guess the word. So this says work on comprehension and guess the meaning, which I really like. So this one's really cool. You can see I've done a lot more of these, which is really fun because you can see the ones you've done. It's also a visual, which is really cool. So with some of the kids that I've worked on this with, I've said like, okay, which one do you want to practice? Or we could play a guessing game. We could say, I'm thinking of something that has an orange beak and swims in a pond. So you can work on those descriptors and play a guessing game. Let's see. Let's do the elephant. So you can practice saying these words. And I just love that they use peer models because we know how valuable peer modeling can be for kids. They're way more likely to respond to peers than they are to us adults. So I just think that's one of the best strengths of this tool is that it uses peers. Okay, so then of course we have choices. Chris, which one was it?
Oh, it was definitely the elephant.
Yeah. Oh my God, this is my favorite.
It's talking about poop.
You know how much we love that on this podcast. My kids crack up with this. You can say, ew, gross, if you're working with kids with devices. But like, I'm not kidding. Like my kids always pick the elephant because they just want to see the elephant pooping. Who doesn't? And there's lots of other ones that you can try. There's this car, which we can try. Oh, it's setting up the microphone. I've never seen that before. So then, of course, you can see the different options.
In olden days, they didn't have cars. Instead, they drove carriages pulled by horses.
More poop. I'm noticing a trend that I really appreciate. So what I love about this is that it's so unexpected, right? Like it's really great to get that surprise factor. Kids for the first time seeing it, they're so shocked that, the elephant poops and the horse poops, and also there's just so many different things that you can target with this.
So Rachel, let's do one more and let's get it wrong. I always like to see what happens if the student doesn't pick the car or doesn't pick how does the app prompt the student to, recognize that was a mistake or an error?
Great. That's a hard one. Tyrannosaurus Rex. I like that she slowed down.
Well, I really like that she does it both ways, so you're hearing it slowly and you're hearing it at sort of real-time speed, right?
Yeah.
Most kids are going to know what a T-Rex is, but let's say they thought it was the bat down there at the bottom. What happens?
It farts.
So you can see it just grays it out, right? And says, okay, that wasn't it. This is it. So you're not getting some huge reinforcer, which can be a problem in some apps.
Yep.
Might have been a super scary predator.
T-Rex is playing tennis.
Couldn't play tennis. What else is hard with small arms?
I love this. It's an open-ended question. What else is hard with small arms, right?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Most of these little animations that happen after you get it right end with an open-ended question. I was noticing that in all the different, so it's in all the different portions of this app, so that it is a conversation starter, not just playing on an app, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And then you can carry on that conversation. In fact, this is one of the ways we were talking about implementing it when you and I were brainstorming, was the idea that there could be a speech therapist that would use this in their lesson, right? Like, okay, let's break this out, let's play with it. But it could also then be, and then talk about the stuff as you're doing it. But it could also be a great use for like a home application. So we practiced whatever the skill was in the class or in the session. But now here's your homework assignment, Mom. You're going to go play on this individually. You're going to play with your kid on this because it's really, kind of easy to just play with.
Yeah, and it's super fun and engaging. And as you guys can see, there's so much content. Do you see all this? Do you see all the work that I have to do? I have so much work to do, guys. I mean, it's really amazing how much content, and this is just one of the modules, and you saw how many there are. So let's keep going and go through a few more of the ones. I love this What a Feeling one. It's so hard, I feel like, to target feelings, and I think that this is always a great thing to start targeting really young with kids, start pairing emotions with feelings. So you can see my ice cream cone fell. It's so funny, the music.
I am sad. I'm sad.
I like the repetition of this, so it's not just fast, right? We go over it again, which is really important.
I am sad. I'm sad. Now guess.
So I love that it shows kids having actual reactions, right? I think that that's one of the hardest things. We use flashcards sometimes to teach these types of things, but seeing an actual video of a child saying I'm sad, hearing the intonation in their voice, and also seeing their facial expressions, they put their heads down. These are all types of cues that we teach kids about emotions and how to decode emotions in others, which we know a lot of our students have challenges with. Let's
I
see.
couldn't agree more. I mean, there's tons of research about video modeling and how good it is for students to use. And these are short, nice, succinct video models that it's not like a 45-minute thing on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Exactly, exactly. And, I'm constantly trying to figure out ways that I can open that feelings folder. And it's interesting because I feel like when feelings, we only think about feelings with kids when they're, really negative. Oftentimes it's like when the kid's mad, it's like we're like, where's the device so we can show him where mad is. And unfortunately that's not really the teaching opportunity to help children communicate in, right? It's like, yeah, we want them eventually to be able to communicate that they're angry, but nobody really wants to talk when they're really angry, right? Like we want to throw things, we want to cry, we want to
Stomp
do all
away.
these. Exactly. So
Mhm.
what's nice is that this, we take the child out of it in a lot of ways, and we can do this teaching with other kids, showing videos, pairing this with a book. I feel like would be a really great idea, so that we can teach these emotion words, what they look like in faces and scenarios that we practice, that have these things as well. This one's funny. This is new to me. I haven't seen this one yet. All while we can be doing language modeling. He's eating right now.
Now, this particular this portion of the app is, I guess you'd call it this portion of this game of the app. It's kind of repetitive, right? It's you get
Mm-hmm.
into the use of that. You are, click on one of these, it opens it up. You see someone doing the video modeling. There's that green bar letting you know that you're not watching this video forever. There's an endpoint here. That green bar gets to the end, and then you get to usually choose between you know, what out of three different options there. But so that's one type of game or app. But then you saw earlier, and I think you're going to see here and again, that there are different types of games within this app, so that it's not always the same thing. It's not, it constantly changes it up for the students, so it doesn't get boring.
All right, Chris, what's next? What do you want to watch? What do you want to dive into?
Do you want to do getting dressed, maybe?
Sure. Here it is. This is definitely a skill that a lot of our students work on, right? And this is a really great one for parents, because I feel like parents are always having a hard time getting their kids out the door in the morning. And so, figuring out ways that we can bridge that home to school gap if we're in the schools, or even if we're in private practice, figuring out how we can support parents practicing these skills at home. So I really, really love this one. And then I also love, look at all that literacy, Chris, all of those
Exactly.
labels.
Well, and the same thing with the get of feelings, right? There was the words there. They're partnered with the sounds
Yep.
and the pictures.
Hands. Hey, now you try it.
I like that it encourages. I'll try it. Pants. This is my favorite though. Ready? Some more augmented reality. Some silly stuff. You see the pants on my head, Chris? What's on my head? Where are the pants? There's so much opportunity here for language because it's so silly.
It's so silly and fun, right? It's on
Yep.
you. So let's talk about these pictures for a second. So we just saw a picture of you with pants on your head, and we also saw the picture of you as the monkey, right?
Mhm.
Well, these pictures can be saved to your camera roll, and then you can take those pictures and we can do something like what's called app smashing. So you can take those pictures out and you can export them and put them in something else and make, let's say, like a simple PowerPoint. Or you could just make a slideshow right there on your iPad. Or if you were to put them into Tar Heel Reader, and then you could type underneath each one and tell a story about your different experiences. There's lots of stuff you can do just with those pictures that you've taken that extends beyond this app, which I think makes
Exactly.
it one of the better apps, because
Yeah.
it continues to give.
Yeah, and also I'm thinking Pictello would be a really good one for our students who use that for social stories and otherwise. I love customizing that and creating stories in Pictello that kids really excited, and there's so many different possibilities to use these pictures in really unique and innovative ways with a variety of different skill levels, right? I mean, we could be working with emerging communicators. We also could be working with kids that are much older, working on much more, sophisticated sentence structures. We could have them tell a story about a time where there was pants stuck on someone's head. I
Yes.
feel like the possibilities are really endless.
All right. So, and what I really like too about that particular type of game where they're saying the words out loud is that you're getting the visual feedback too. So I don't know if you noticed it, but just we could do another one, Rachel, where you are recording, it's picking up your voice, and you'll notice these little stars pop up whenever you say the word. So it's going, and these stars are popping up,
Okay.
which again, it's a multimodal thing. So you are not just hearing it, but you're also seeing it, and you're getting that feedback. So let's try one.
Yeah. Let's try cookies because they're my favorite.
3, 2, 1. Now you try it.
Cookie. 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 That's really reinforcing. I was really
Right?
excited. I was staring at the stars, waiting for them to pop. All right, this is what I wanted. Yay. Yum. And this is perfect for eat, yummy, tastes good, I'm hungry. Look at that cookie.
More.
It's just disappearing. Yeah, more cookies. Who
I
has the
like it.
cookie? If you have more than one student, you could share this, right? And we could pass it around and you could say, who has the cookie now? Kind of like who stole the cookie from the cookie jar, but like the 2020 version.
Well, let's talk about that real quick, Rachel. So, when you go back to this portion of the app where you can kind of see all the stickers, when you jump out of here and go back, what if you have more than one student and you wanted to use this with more than one student? Well, one of the nice features is that you actually can create accounts for different students, which aren't shared. I don't believe they're shared on any sort of specialized server. You don't need, it's just all kept right here on the iPad.
I am
But
a grown up.
different kids can know, you have
Switch
right there,
user.
switch, right? So you've got my child, Jake, and Jessica, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can switch it and you can see that it tracks the progress over time, and it also tracks which portions of the app that you've already uncovered in a lot of ways, which is also really nice because I feel like I oftentimes forget from student to student what we've done, and that's a really great visual reminder. It's like, oh, that's right, last time we worked on this specific activity. I wonder if it will generalize to this next session, right? All right, let's do one more of these, and then
okay.
we'll go into some more of the specifics.
All right. How about when I grow up?
Sure.
Could we do that one?
I wonder what I'm going to
there.
be when I grow up. I wonder if there's a speech therapist on here. Oh, okay, so let's see. I love this to target who questions, right? I think this could be really great.
3, 2, 1. see you try.
Farmer. Farmer. And we haven't really mentioned this, but it's also a really great tool for articulation, right? There's lots of different, you can find all the K, go through all of these and find all the K sounds, right? Which is another fun thing to do. Let's see, I'm going to be a farmer now. Oh, I look like a good farmer. Oh, look, there's so much vegetables. This
That's
is
super
perfect.
healthy.
Yeah.
Good. It's good for you.
Yes, I love those core words. And like, of course, like it's so the shock factor, right? I'm like, what's going to pop up? Like, I'm so engaged in this, not knowing kind of what to expect, right?
Yes, that unexpectedness, I think it makes it because you don't know what's going to happen and you want to find out. And the thing is, it doesn't take you that long to get there. You know, the reinforcer is coming within 30 seconds, and having that little video indicator, like I said, I think that really helps some kids know, okay, something's coming, something's coming, something's coming, and you can actually see it happening.
Absolutely. So the other thing that I like to do with this app is, of course, you can say, which one should we choose, right? Which you could target that one if you're working on core words, or not that one or different. But the other thing I like to do is play a guessing game with kids. So, I'm thinking of somebody who drives a truck and puts out fires. Who am I thinking about? And so that's a really fun way to just even open up a portion of the app, right? Is just to play this guessing game, have kids listen to descriptors. Of course, you're working on, understanding and the comprehension piece along with the expressive language. So there's lots of different ways that you can utilize this.
Mm-hmm. Rachel, something we haven't played with is, if you can go back there for a second, there's I'm sure people are wondering, or you can get it right from here, that little gift box up in the top right. What is that little thing? Yeah, what is that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, it gives you this reinforcer that you've kind of earned these, I think sometimes there's different, balloons that pop up. That's what I thought. And you
Who
can kind
doesn't
of
love
tap them.
popping balloons? I do.
Exactly.
You can count, you can do the colors. You also can just be like, go to town, kids.
Up. Get it. These are all great core words that you can use. You did it.
More. The other thing is too, I love that. I love that there's these kind of built-in reinforcements inside the app. And the other thing that I really like, I am a grown-up, is we haven't talked about this, but when you start the app, there's this whole almost screening process that you go through. And by the way, of course, this is a tool. This is a tool to aid speech language pathologists. This is not in replacement of a speech language pathologist. This is, just one of the tools that we can use in our toolbox. This is a tool that you can send home to families to help them with at-home practice. But there's this really amazing screening. So we go through, when was your child born? And we can continue. What are your child's favorite things? How many words? So there's a lot of customization that happens. And this is very extensive, so I won't go through all through it. Has your child been evaluated? I'm just curious what happens if we say no. It's just kind of an intake form.
Well, yeah, it gives you this intake form, and like the questions are really simple. I found as you go through, it's really
Yes.
easy to understand, and just very simple yes no sorts of questions, or like you said, putting in the age of the child, things like that. But you said it's very extensive. It walks you through hearing, it walks you through pragmatics, which you're in now. Then it goes through play. And ask you just a handful of questions. It's not too cumbersome. Again, having that little visual reinforcer lets you know as the adult putting it in, yeah, you're getting closer to the end too.
I'm like,
So
yay.
after play, there's comprehension, which is really some questions about receptive language, and then it gets to talking or expressive language, which also kind of encompasses articulation and phonology. So, rather than going through it all now, it's something you'd really want to play with on your own to go through it. But what it does then is it kind of produces this report that gives you gives you as a parent or gives you as a therapist to guide a parent, either way, some really practical tips. Like when I went through it and I was playing with it, yeah, there's the report, these color. If you
Mhm.
were to click on one of those and learn more, it gives you some very practical tips and tricks that you can actually do at home. Like one I saw was give your child undivided attention when he, she, or they are speaking to you. How often
Yes.
is a parent upstairs yelling down to a kid or downstairs yelling up to a kid and then wondering how come that communication isn't working? Well, no, get eye to them, make sure that you have their attention, and then communicate. That's a really good practical strategy that doesn't occur to a lot of people, but they wrote it in here in the app to help you understand what to do. um, Another
Love
one
it.
that I read, a practical tip was to, draw a picture of what your child's saying and then have them tell a story about it. Which again, if you're a speech therapist, this makes a lot of sense to you, but many parents need that. Oh, I didn't even think that I could draw a picture and have my kid tell me a story about it.
Yep.
It doesn't occur to people that don't have a background in child development that that's something they should be doing. So that's why I really love these tips and tricks.
The other thing that I really love is this daily reminders, right? So again, I think this could be used perfectly in conjunction with therapy that you're doing. You could say, download this app, parents, and let's practice 10 minutes a day, right? And you can, repetition is key, is what the screen says, of course. And you can set these reminders on your device. And this is something that parents could download on their phones, right? So when
Hmm.
they're siblings at dance practice, they could be sitting and doing their 10 minutes with their child. So I just love this automatic reminder function, because we all need reminders to do most anything these days because our schedules are so full. So I just love that, and giving clear, concise feedback to families. I want you to practice for 10 minutes a day. I want you to practice in, potentially the yummy time folder, or early sounds. See all of the, G sounds that you can find in the app. There's lots of different ways that you can utilize this for at-home practice.
So Rachel, it came up, but let's just talk about it explicitly. I noticed for you to get into this menu that we're looking at right now, you had to answer a question so that a student couldn't go in there and kind of mess it up by accident, right?
Yes.
You had to answer kind of a simple math question that maybe most children would know, but an adult would know. There you go. Are you a grown up,
Hmm.
right?
I
So
am a
we saw
grown-up.
that a couple times. I just so we talk about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
you are a grown up.
Unfortunately, yes, I am. Sometimes it
Now,
doesn't feel like it, but
Rachel, what is that thing up there at the top? It says invite a friend and get a $10 gift card. What's the
this is
deal
super
here?
cool, guys. So if you recommended this app to someone, you get a $10 Apple gift card. So your friend gets a month-long free trial and you get something too. So
Hmm.
it's just super fun when these apps have these types of incentives, because it's a great tool to use. And it's also great when you get $10 for Apple. I love when that
Yeah.
happens.
Now, just to be clear here, I think they get that $10 gift card if the person they referred to it subscribes, and that's really how
Yes.
this works. Is that the app is free, so you can go and get it. But if you want to subscribe to it and get the all the content, that's how that $10 gift card works. Someone has to subscribe to it, not just you invited them to it. Um,
Exactly.
I think they call that subscription. Like there's something called I think you can subscribe for monthly, but then there's also something called the forever plan where you can subscribe for your life, a lifetime subscription.
Yes. Which is what Speech Blubs is actually offering our Patreon members. So if
What?
you sign up, I know it's crazy, right, Chris? There's crazy things going on in the Patreon right now. If you sign up before April 2nd for our Patreon, you will receive a lifetime subscription to Speech Blubs, which is cool because they're constantly updating this content. You can see that it feels like a lifetime to even get through all of the content with your students. So if you haven't joined our Patreon, go to patreon.com/talkingwithtech. Join all the fun things that are happening in there. We're doing lots of cool behind the scenes stuff and giveaways such as this one. If you're not a Patreon member, you still can get a 1-month free trial of Speech Blubs. Just go to bit.ly/TWT Speech Blubs. And we should probably spell that, Chris, right? TWT SPEECHBLUBS. So just
Yes.
go to that bit.ly link and you can fill out a form, and it'll give you all the instructions on how to download this app to start using in your practice.
So now, if you want to check out more about Speech Blubs, you can also visit their blog page. And so that is, it's www.speechblubs.com/blogs. And you can read about user experiences there and what other people are saying. You can also check them out on Instagram at Speech Blubs, where they, I think, give some sort of live content, usually even daily. I think there's some live content that they share about the app. And then, of course, you can always email them. So you can email them at hi, H-I, at blubblub.org. That's H-I at blubblub.org.
I love it. I'm actually on their Instagram right now. 43,000 followers on Instagram. They have a huge following, and they're just giving really practical tips and tools. The post from today says typically a child needs 10 to 15 repetitions of a word before it's added to their vocabulary, and that's a research article that they cited there. So lots of really valuable information. An amazing company, and we're just so lucky to have partnered with them for this episode.
Yes, thank you, Speech Blubs, for making an awesome app that's so much fun, so engaging for kids, so easy to use for.
Uh-oh, Chris, your audio, no. This happens, everybody. This happens sometimes with Chris's audio. And he's back.
With our inaugural Teaching with Tech episode. So thank you, Speech Blubs. Sorry about that little audio cutout. I don't know what happened there.
He has the fanciest equipment, but sometimes it just doesn't want to work. If you guys haven't joined our Facebook group, please search Talking with Tech. Join our Facebook group. That's where you can see the video of this episode if you're listening in your car, which most of you do because this is a podcast. Definitely join our Facebook group. Definitely join our Patreon if you haven't already. Patreon.com/Talking with Tech. That's where we're going to be giving away these subscriptions. And thank you again to Speech Blubs. We are excited to promote your product because we really believe in it. And for Talking with Tech, actually for Teaching with Tech, Chris, I'm Rachel Madel, joined with Chris Bugaj. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will talk to you guys next week.